The show getting Dublin talking.
Every morning from 10.
Adrian Kennedy.
Dublin Talks on 98FM.
Very upsetting headline on the front page of today's Herald. The headline reads, "Jealous bullies killed my girl." And the article written by Conor Feehan in today's Herald reads, "The mother of a young Dublin woman who took her own life says she blames jealous bullies for her girl's death." Nicole Fox Fenlon, 21 years of age, from Clondalkin, died last week after years of torment. Her heartbroken mother, Jackie, hit out at the bullies who repeatedly targeted Nicole, spread lies about her sexual activity on social media, knocking over her drinks and burning her with cigarettes. Jackie Fox very bravely spoke to the Herald about her story, and even more bravely is about to speak to me live on 98FM right now. Firstly, Jackie, can I send to you my sincere condolences on the loss of your beautiful daughter?
Thank you.
I was heartbroken reading this story on the bus today, and I mentioned a couple of minutes ago that bullying is something I feel very strongly about, always have, from my own personal experience as a young person. Tell me about your daughter Nicole and what she went through over the last number of years.
Nicole, we never really called her Nicole. We mostly called her Coco because when she was born, her cousin was 1 year old and he could never say the name Nicole, so he could only say Coco. So, like a lot of people would know her as Coco as well. Nicole she was the most loving, caring, most beautiful daughter anyone could ever want. She was a little diva when she wanted. She was cheeky when she wanted. But her worst thing was she was too trusting. She thought people were her friends, and then they would just turn things around and use it all against her.
So when did you first learn that Coco was being bullied?
Well, from when she turned 18 and she started going out, into a nightclub. At the start things were okay, but it's just people were just, there was a certain person that Nicole, a certain girl that Nicole would have been best friends with, and this other girl didn't like that. She was jealous of their friendship, and she only became friends with Nicole so she could hang around with this person. But I don't know what I'm saying. Everyone was just, I'm going to say, jealous of her. She was stunning and beautiful, and none of the girls like that. And Nicole would get a lot of boys over to her, and she liked hanging around with boys because she could actually talk to boys easier. So a lot of boys would talk to her and stuff, but a lot of girls don't like that. They were intimidated by her. I got to one stage where Nicole used to go down and she'd say she'd come out of the toilet, and some girl would walk by and just elbow her right to the ground. And because of one particular person, that was so jealous of her, she'd start spreading, she'd get a bigger gang and she'd start spreading malicious rumours about her, but she'd get more on top and more on top, and it just escalated into huge.
So at one stage it was so bad, Jackie, this bullying, and I want to be very careful that we're deliberately not identifying any people during the course of this interview. And the reason being is that you want this to be dealt with properly by the Gardaí, and I totally understand that, and I would hate to prejudice any case against anybody. So that's so we're being very careful in that regard.
Yeah.
But the bullying became so intense at one stage that the bullies burned your daughter with cigarettes, assaulted her on the dance floor at clubs, and spread lies about her sexual activity on social media.
Yeah.
Why do you think? I mean, you said, and she is. I'm just looking at the photographs. A stunning girl.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Is that what this was all about?
There's no other reason, because she's Nicole. She is a shy person. All Nicole ever wanted to do was go down and have a few drinks. She could never get drunk, because she always had to be aware of what was going on, because she didn't know who wanted to kill her. Do you know what I mean? She used to go down, and a girl would come over and start talking to her, never knew her, and then she'd say, "What's your name?" And Nicole would go, "Nicole," and she'd go, "Oh, you're Nicole," because of all the things that people were just saying, and it just stemmed from this certain person. She just wanted to go down and have fun, and she was only 5 foot. She was only a tiny dot, and she couldn't defend herself against people. I collect her from the nightclubs when it was time to come home. I'd never let her come home on her own, or get a taxi, or wait outside for a taxi. I collect her every day. But it got that bad when she went to the nightclub. Someone would say, "Oh, what's your name?" And she'd say Jacinta and Barbara. She'd have
rather than say her actual name.
Rather than say, "Oh, you're Nicole."
And and the reason that she found herself doing that was because of the amount of rubbish that was being written about her on social media.
Yeah. Some picture was put up with some random girl and 3 or 4 fellas or something at Clondalkin train station, and Nicole seen this, and they said it was her, and Nicole goes, "Ma'am, I didn't even know there was a train station in Clondalkin." She was 21, but she was so naive, and she was real mammy's girl. She wasn't a streetwise, or and she didn't even know there was a train station in Clondalkin, and this was all.
So the people that were picking on her threatened online to put her in intensive care.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
The bullying that she went through just completely ate away at her confidence.
Oh, totally. She always said she loved that photograph, and she put up loads of photographs, and I'd say, "That's beautiful, that's gorgeous." And then she turned around and said to me, "Man, just because I smile in photographs doesn't mean I'm happy."
Oh my God.
She's the most beautiful smile, but that's what she said. "Just because I smile in photographs doesn't make me happy." And she did say before that she wanted to die, but the only reason why she couldn't do it is because she didn't want to hurt me. She wasn't done it before. She had tried before, and she was in hospital about it. But Nicole, it's kind of hard to talk to people as it is, and she brought her down to counselling, and she goes, "Ma'am, if I can't talk to other people, I'm going to talk to strangers." So me and Nicole and our family was there, but the last 2 weeks before it happened, she was coming out. I thought she was getting happy because she changed. I thought it was a turnaround, because she would start going out with her cousin and went to a different nightclub altogether. And I'd collect her, and she was so happy. The day before she did it, she went over to Liffey Valley and she bought a new top, and she got a new pretty little dress from Pretty Little Thing. And
Bernie, can I just bring you back 2 years ago, back to 2016, when your daughter took an overdose of tablets, but survived. But the most sinister part of this story, and this is what really bothers me, is that the bullies found out how much things were affecting her, found out that she had taken an overdose, but continued to bully her.
Only for worse. Only worse. It was like, this is where, they would choke the cigarettes on her. She'd put a drink on the table. See, they did it in like, oh, sorry, I didn't mean that. And she put a drink on the table, and Nicole had seen them knocking it off, and then they go, oh, sorry, Cole, I didn't mean that. You know, they were doing it sneakily, but she, like, went right into her face. She was on the dance floor one night, and she came home. She said, Mom, this girl just put her hand over my head and took me up by the head nearly and took me off the dance floor and wanted to kill me. And I said, who was it? She goes, no idea. She didn't even know who half of these people were. But
I'm going to...
But they all, the people that... She didn't know who half of them were, but the people that did it knew this person that first started it. Do you know what I mean? It leads back to
one person.
Mainly one.
One person. Okay.
Yeah.
Bear with me for 1 second, because Anna, I know you had to pull over the car listening to this, and I know you rang in just to give Jackie some support.
Hello.
Hi, Anna. How are you?
Hi. I was driving and I just listened to her and I just started crying and I had to stop. I don't know what I could say, to Jackie, but because I'm a mother myself and I kind of put myself in her. I imagine I can't put myself in her shoes, and I just want to say to be strong and to work with the Gardaí to make sure that this will be a signal for everybody who does that. I mean, it's unacceptable for people to do that, and I can't imagine how mean, how bad, or how sick can you be to do something like this to somebody else. And I'm really sorry for her loss, and my heart goes with her.
Well, we really appreciate the call, Anna. Thank you very much indeed. And let me just read a text message that's just come in. I'm so sorry for your loss, Jackie. Those little bitches need to be named and arrested. The poor girl, R.I.P., says Tracy. We cannot name these girls, and I can't stress this enough. We're not prepared to do that. We want this dealt with properly by the Gardaí. And for a guard to say to you, Jackie, I believe last week when your daughter died, how annoyed he was, and that this person or these people will not get away with this.
No, because we didn't. I didn't say anything when we were up when Nicole was in hospital when she was in ICU, and I didn't say anything about the bullying. We thought there's something more, so he did a background check, and he rang in and he just said that there's no way that this is going left. That he's going that they will be dealt with. 100% they will be dealt with.
Okay, and as I said, that's why we're not in any way identifying anybody who may have been involved. Jackie, tell me about the last text message that Coco sent you.
Oh, she sent me this beautiful poem all about me, and the last I can't even read it now, but the last thing that I said to her. I texted her on the thing, but then I showed him, I love you too. And she says, I love you too. And that's the last thing I said to her. But she always did send me beautiful little things. She'd write things, and she never called me. Sometimes she called me Ma'am, but she'd call me Jackers. And everything at the end of what she wrote, she'd go, yup, Jackers, on everything. But the last thing I told her is I love you, and she said I love you too, and she was happy. I thought she was happy then, the last 2 weeks she just seemed happy that she was coming out of things.
So how did you learn about what happened to her last week?
Well, I had to bring my son to work at 3:20 and then go up and collect my other son from the school. So at 4:20, myself and my 14-year-old boy walked into the house at the same time. And she was in the hall, hanging up the bed. And the minute we walked in, you could see her straight away. So I went over to her and I tried to lift her. I was lifting her up to get the weight off her neck. And poor Lee, our brother Lee, I shouted at him, cut her down, or get out. And he ran in and he cut her down. And he ran to get help. And I was hugging her and I started doing CPR on her. And neighbours came and they were talking. I had the ambulance rang at this stage and neighbours took the phone off me and was talking to the ambulance guys, but I just kept doing CPR on her until they came, and she was still warm and so I was saying, "Oh, you're going to be all right, baby." And I thought she would have been okay, but he said in the hospital that she had significant brain damage and then her organs now started to fail. And but just walking into the hall, that's the both of us, me and my 14-year-old son, and I give it the benefits.
Oh, my heart is broken for you. And I know anybody who's listening to us now who is a parent can... I just find that really upsetting. I really do. And Jackie, the one thing that I don't know you from Adam, but I'm so proud of you for having the strength to speak about this, because this is what bullying has done to your daughter and to you as a mother and to her brothers and to her dad and to everybody around them. These brain dead people who have picked on your daughter so relentlessly for the last number of years are responsible for taking her life.
Yeah, 100%. She won't, only for them, she won't be still here with me. Only for them.
What is your message? And like I said, Jackie, I'm so full of admiration only a couple of days after burying your daughter for you to have the strength to speak about this, because this is so important that this message gets out there that bullying people is not acceptable, is not a joke, is not funny, and can lead to somebody dying. What is your message to the people who picked on your daughter so relentlessly for all those years?
To the people that died, or that picked on it, I hope they rot in hell. I hope they rot in hell. I hope they... You know what, Adrian, I actually don't think that they like one particular person rang up and said and rang me and was saying, "Oh, I'm so sorry," and then there's things on Facebook about some of the people that bullied her putting poor Nicole and stuff and all. Like, hypocrites. I don't even know if they realise what they've done, to be honest. I hope they suffer. I hope they suffer as much as Nicole did. I do. I hope they suffer as much as she did.
Jackie, I'm like I said to you, my sincerest condolences to you. And I know I speak. I've never cried doing a radio show before, and you really have. Your story is just breaking my heart, and it's breaking my heart because people think that they can get away with this. People think it's funny. It's a laugh to pick on somebody, but with your daughter over many years, it just ate away at her.
Oh yeah.
To the extent that she she ended up taking her life. I mean, that's...
She used to be the most funniest girl, but then if it got that bad, when she was starting to go out, she would actually be in the bathroom vomiting and full of anxiety at the thought of going out, even though she wanted to go out then. She was dreading it as well. She was vomiting in the toilet at the thought of going out, but she went out, and then, things be just nasty again. She wanted to go out. She only wanted to go out and have a laugh. And she said, because I said, Nicole, don't go down there. And she said, then they'll be only think, oh, she's afraid. And she said, Mum, I'm not letting them win. I'm going in there, and I'm going in with my head high, and I'm not going to let them win.
Jackie, I want you to stay with me for just 2 more minutes, because I have a lot of calls from listeners who want to offer you some support. So if you can stay there for 1 second, this might help you a bit to know that people are with you as you tell your story. So stay there for 2 minutes, Jackie, and I'll come back to you in a second. We are in the middle of a conversation, and one of the most difficult live radio interviews I've ever done in my entire career, to be quite honest with you. But it's one that I am so proud of this lady for having the strength and the courage to speak on a live radio show about. And that is the tragic passing last week of her 21-year-old daughter, Nicole Fox Fenlon. Jackie has been telling us how years of relentless bullying by jealous little bitches led to her daughter taking her own life last week. Her daughter was buried earlier on this week, and the reason Jackie has spoken is to highlight how sinister bullying can be, how extraordinarily damaging it can be to pick on somebody over and over and over again. These bullies were so bad that when Jackie's daughter Coco attempted to take her life 2 years ago, these bullies just got worse. They didn't let up. And that's the bit of this story, Jackie, that I find the most distasteful, and it's the part of the story that makes me think that these people bullied her to death.
Yeah.
And I'm just gobsmacked. I really am.
Can I ask you something for your listeners, just in case I forget to say it?
Mm-hmm.
We have Coco's phone, and we need a professional person that won't wipe everything off to get it. She has it locked, and we're trying to get into her phone. And if there's any people out there listening that can help me unlock her phone without
wiping it. What type of a phone is it, Jackie?
It's an iPhone 8.
It's an iPhone
8.
It's an iPhone 8. Okay, so it's a new enough iPhone, which, if it's password protected and everything else, so you want to find out if it's possible. Okay, if we can find some engineer who has that ability, I'm sure it is possible somehow. It has to be possible somehow. So if anybody has that ability to get into a phone that is locked, because obviously you want to see what's in there, and the Gardaí need to see what's in there. I know the Gardaí do have the ability to get into it if all else fails. But stay there for a second, Jackie. Anita.
How you doing, Adrian?
Anita, you are a neighbour of Jackie's.
I am, yeah, for the past 24 years.
Hi, Anita.
Hi, Jackie. We're all just devastated. We can't believe what poor Coco went through. We just want Jackie to know that we're here for her, and we're just desperately sorry.
Yeah.
And you knew Coco all her life?
Yeah, I've known her since she was born. Yeah, she was a beautiful girl. She used to knock at my hall door when she was like 5 or 6 just to have a chat and have a laugh. She was just beautiful. I can't believe what's after happening.
And obviously you wouldn't have known the torment that she was going through.
Never. I used to look at her pictures on Jackie's page and think she looked so happy. She was always smiling, and she was stunning, and
in fact,
never would have known.
one thing that you said, Jackie, which is very upsetting, is your daughter said to you, "Just because I'm smiling in photographs doesn't mean I'm happy."
Yeah. So true.
And that was the image that she put out to the world, and that's what you would have seen, Anita, the happy Coco. But sadly, this was just eating her up.
You never know what's going on behind someone's eyes. You never know, and this is just an example of that. I just hope the family get justice now, because that's what Coco deserves.
All right, we appreciate the call, Anita, and I'm so happy, and I'm sure I've absolutely no doubt that you have great support from your neighbours around you, Jackie.
100%.
It really is good to hear. Thanks very much, Anita.
No problem.
Catherine, you're on 98 FM. Hello, Catherine.
Hi, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Hi, Jackie. Hi, Jackie. I was driving also for work, and I actually had to pull in because I couldn't even see the road anymore. I am so sorry for you and your beautiful, beautiful girl. I really can't say anything that's going to make you feel any better, but just to be strong and liaise with the guards so these people are brought to justice. I used to think that everybody is good in the world, and unfortunately, as I got older, I realised everybody isn't. And your daughter was one of the good ones. And I just want to say, I got a little smile in this when you told the story of how she sent you beautiful messages, and she finished them with saying, "Yup, jackers." I think that's beautiful and wonderful, and that gave me a little smile in this. So
she said that at the end of everything, anything she said, she just go, "Yup, jackers."
I think that is wonderful, and it's so nice to have that. So please believe everybody, I'm sure, listening to this radio, and people that might buy the Herald later will definitely be in support of your family, and you find the strength to carry on and to fight this on your daughter's behalf. So God bless you, and take care, Jackie. You're amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you. God bless now. Bye-bye.
Thanks very much indeed, Catherine. Jackie, you would not believe the amount of support that is coming in for you and your family. And tell me, Jackie, how Coco's brothers and her dad have coped with all this.
Well, with my little fella Lee, that had to go down when Nicole was in ICU. We had a few days with her before she went, and Lee collapsed in the hospital, so he was taken down to the children's A&E, and they had to admit him to hospital. They couldn't let him out. They had to take him in.
Because of the trauma he'd been through.
Yeah, and his vision and all went. So he was in A&E. His bed, Nicole was in ICU. So they couldn't let him out. They had to keep him in overnight. He's just the both of them are just devastated. They're just devastated. They just I don't even.
Would they have known the sort of bullying that she was living with?
Not to extent, because she would tell me everything, and they would have known, yeah. And now our younger brother Lee, he would be real protective of her, and he was always saying, "Who said that? Who said that? I'll go down and I'll get them. I'll kill them." And all. He's 14, you know, and he always wanted to go down and bash them, and still does.
As little brothers do, as any brother does. Melanie, you're shocked with this story because it rings home for you as well.
Hi, Adrian. Hi, Jackie. How are you?
Hi.
Silly question, I know. No, I'm just listening to it here. It's absolutely heartbreaking, and it's so raw for you as well. It's only been it's so sudden, and I lost my own son nearly 6 years ago. It was in a car accident. It's a bit different, but he was also bullied in secondary school. And to see your child going through that kind of torture, and to be honest, it wasn't as bad as what happened to Coco, but it's just horrendous to see your child suffering like that. My heart's just breaking for you. It really is.
And I think anybody listening to the show, or who's later on today perhaps listening to a podcast of this show, what upsets me about this whole conversation is that people, we talk about bullying. It's something that's been talked about for years. It's something we deal with a little bit better than we used to. But that's when it comes to school. In your daughter's case, Jackie, she'd finished school and it kept going. It was that relentless. She was a young adult and she was still being bullied.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it comes down to... very often it comes down to jealousy, maybe. Yeah.
And that's exactly what Jackie said earlier on, yeah.
It does. That's what I found now, and I agree. I think a lot of it, like my son was very talented musically. He was, I believe, a very good-looking young lad, and that, I feel, was a huge part of it for him. He was afraid to come home from school a lot of days. He'd phone me, ask me to collect him. He was thrown against lockers, jumpers torn. And I actually believe a lot of it I wasn't even aware of, because boys don't talk the way girls do. I actually found a lot of things out afterwards because I got access to his Facebook account, and I then became aware of who they were, and a lot of things became clearer. And his bullies were at his funeral. They had a benefit night from they were there. They even come up and offered me their condolences, and I just didn't know who they were at the time.
And found out subsequently, did you?
Subsequently, yeah. I did realise he'd been bullied, but I wasn't aware. I knew a couple of the names, but I wasn't aware of exactly who was who. Or I did go into school, obviously, about it. That just made it worse. I made it 10 times worse.
As a matter of interest, Jackie, when it came to Coco's funeral, did any of the people who may have picked on her over the years have the audacity to show their face?
No, because I had what you call bodyguards that weren't letting anyone in that wasn't supposed to. Okay. But no, they didn't. None of them turned up. But a couple of them were warned not to turn up previously. So even if they turned up, they weren't going in near her.
Peter, you're on 98FM. How are you, Peter?
How's it going, Adrian?
Good, thank you, Peter. What did you want to say?
But she literally pulled over to the side of the road there and bought me eyes out listening to this woman's story. These people, we need justice. I'm not for death penalties or that like that, but these type of people need to go into places, and the same torture that they put that poor girl through, they need to be put through every single day. But that woman has to go through the rest of her life now, dealing with the loss of her child. It's not right. And
this is where I think we need to get serious in law here in Ireland, and I hope
if you're to be cruel to an animal, we would send you to prison. What they done to that girl was torture, and she was suffering inside. And as that lady said, she was smiling all her photos, but she was dying inside. They killed that poor girl.
They did, absolutely, and that's the point I was about to make. That. We need to get serious in law, and I hope and I pray that enough evidence can be put together to bring somebody to justice for what has happened to this young girl. I really do.
The problem, Adrian, is when they get to the courts, they'll get lenient sentences. This is where the likes of these things, we need mandatory sentences, and when the first case comes up like this, that's serious, the judge needs to be strict to set an example. It can't be, here's 5 years in prison and 4.5 years suspended. We need to put these people away.
Just thanks very much indeed, Peter. Jackie, I've had a number of people in contact with us, and we will get in contact with you after the programme today who've been on to us about iPhones and getting into iPhones, and some people who believe that they know how to do that. It's not easy. I know it's not easy. The security on the phones is very, very strong, but we've had a number of people in touch with us. Aoife, you're on 98FM. Hello, Aoife.
Hey, Adrian, how are you?
Good, Aoife. What did you want to say?
So basically, my sister's a teacher. Like, I just texted her there a few minutes ago because I was listening to it and I had tears in my eyes listening. And I told her about the interview anyways, and she wants her class to listen to it because obviously there's bullying rife in schools and stuff, and she's hoping by listening to the interview that's bullying a bit anyways.
So this interview could be used to get at students and let students realise how serious the implications can be of bullying.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm.
And as I said to you, Jackie, that's the bit of this conversation that I admire you most for having the strength to do this, because I know that this interview today has really gotten to people, has really upset people, and has made people who perhaps even are bullies themselves wake up and listen and realise that it's not all fun and games, that it's not funny, that it's actually quite devastating to some people.
Yeah, and that was a good point. I don't think the schools cover it enough in secondary. Like, I know, like, they have religion or whatever, CSP, they covered it, but I think in those they should be focusing on the effects of bullying and where to go, who to talk to, and stuff like. I don't think it's enough. Like, put it as a kind of one of their subjects. You know what I mean? But we're adding other things in, obviously. But I think it should be highlighted more in schools, especially in the secondary schools where they are growing up, they're learning new things, there's different feelings. Boys come in on the scene and they don't know how to cope with that. And definitely, I think it should be highlighted a lot more in schools.
I agree with you 100%. Jody, you are an Apple technician, is that right?
That's correct, yeah.
What can we do to get into Jackie's daughter's phone?
So basically, there's not really a way of kind of resetting that or getting past the password. If she has a passcode on the phone, and the only way of doing that is resetting the entire phone, which basically means that she'll lose any information, so it won't work that way. But if she calls Apple, they may ask her a couple of questions and security questions, but there will be a way of actually getting that. If she had any of her information or any of her conversations or pictures or so on backed up to her iCloud on her phone, she may be able to retrieve them if she calls Apple and basically explains the situation to them. Okay, so all is not lost. Not necessarily, no.
Okay, so it could be possible with Apple's help to get into that phone.
Exactly. I have a contact number there as well if she wants me to give her that.
Please do, yep.
Yeah, it's 1800 804 062, and that's their toll-free number. You'll be able to get through to them. And look, they're normally quite good in those situations as well, so hopefully she'll be able to get something.
What
Jackie, don't worry about it. We will call you back. We'll call you back as soon as this interview is finished, and we'll give you that number over the phone, all right?
Yeah.
Jody, thanks very much indeed.
No problem, and I'm so sorry to hear about all this as well.
Absolutely. Thank you very much indeed. And let me just take in one last call, because the amount of people reaching out to offer you support, Jackie, is just quite unbelievable, to be honest. Stephen, you're on 98FM. Hello, Stephen.
Good morning, Adrian. Tough morning to listen to that, Adrian, and I'm very sorry for Jackie's loss. Well, listen, I just had a thought of if we all had a digital footprint, Adrian, which could be linked to our PPS numbers, I think we could nearly eliminate this thing overnight, you know.
And I do believe that that's the way that we are going, Stephen. I do believe that social media accounts should be linked to a PPS number. I don't believe people should be allowed to anonymously post and troll online. And
not when their lives are being taken.
Yes.
A lovely angel gone to heaven now. It's disgusting. It really is.
The problem with a lot of the bullying that Jackie's daughter experienced is a lot of it was in person. A lot of it was face to face. She was burned with cigarettes.
When they threatened to put her on life support machine, they didn't do it. They made up a fake page, and they were saying everything through this fake page. It wasn't the people themselves. It was the fake page that threatened to put her on life support machine.
Absolute cowards, yeah.
It wasn't actually them. But I know it was, do you know what I mean? Because it would have been related to them at the time, but it was a fake page that put all these threats up. You know.
Okay, well, a couple of things. Hopefully, with the help of Apple, and we'll ring you back in a couple of minutes, Jackie, and we'll give you the number for Apple. And as we said, just explain the story of what happened to your daughter and how important it is that you're able to get into her phone, which is lock protected. Jackie, I'm going to wrap this interview up, and as I said, it's been inspirational to listen to you talk. For anybody who's ever experienced bullying, for anybody who worries about their children, it's been an absolute eye-opener. How, finally, Jackie, will you remember your beautiful daughter, Coco?
I remember. I'll never forget. I remember in every possible way. I mean, everything is, you know, from when she was a baby, everything is just remember Nicole doing this, that, and that. I won't remember in one particular thing. I remember in every possible way that a mother can. And there's not one thing I can say that I remember her by. I remember her by everything. Everything she said, everything she done with me, everything. I can't just pick one thing. That everything. Her beautiful smile. Her beautiful smile. She's the most perfect smile.
Jackie, I hope that this conversation, while upsetting for a lot of people, is an eye-opener for other people of the dangers of bullying. And as I said to you earlier on, you have my utmost admiration. My thoughts and prayers are with you, and my sincere condolences on the loss of your beautiful daughter. Jackie Fox, thank you very much indeed for talking to me on 98 FM.
Thank you, Richard. Thank you.
Thanks very much. If you are or have been affected or are currently being affected by any of the issues that we've been talking about, particularly when it comes to bullying, I want to give two phone numbers that I would urge you to call. One is Pieta House. And Pieta House specialise in self-harm and suicidal thoughts and so on. Their number is 1-800-247-247. 1-800-247-247. Or the Samaritans number is a very simple number. It's 116-123. 116-123 if you have been affected by any of the issues that we've been discussing. Thank you very much indeed to Jackie for talking to us. This was an extremely brave thing for her to do.
98FM. This is 98FM's Dublin Talks with Adrian Kennedy.
Weekdays from 10 a.m. on 98FM.